Kiwis are sleepwalking into retirement. A recent review from the Retirement Commission showed that more people are retiring without enough money. And that means that retirees can't afford to live the lifestyle they once had back when they were working. So in today's video, you're going to learn how much you need to spend to live comfortably in retirement, how to figure out whether you're on track for a comfortable retirement, and then what you can do if you're not yet on track. How much do you need to live a good retirement? Every year, Massey University does research to find out how much people actually spend in retirement. Meet Brian and Kate. They want to have what, in 2022, Massey University called the choices lifestyle. Now, this is where Brian and Kate will have the option to go out for dinner when they want and spend money on things that make them happy. They live in Auckland, where it costs more to live, so for them to live that comfortable lifestyle, they're going to need $1,580 a week. But then there is Steve and Simon. They live in Gisborne, where the cost of living is a bit cheaper. They're only going to need about $1,220 a week. Now, bear in mind that the New Zealand Super gives retirees $712 a week in the hand. Now, that's not enough for either of these couples to afford this choices lifestyle. So for Brian and Kate, they're going to need to come up with an extra $866 a week from other investments. And for Steve and Simon, they're going to need to find an extra about $550 a week. So what both these couples need to do is they need to figure out whether what they're currently doing and their current investments are going to give them enough for their retirement. So let's stick with Brian and Kate. They want to know if they're on track for that choices lifestyle. Well, they might like to use My Wealth Plan. This is our new software that we've just released here at Opus Partners. And a couple of months ago, this was only available for our financial advisors and the investors they are working with, but now it's available for everyone. So Brian and Kate might come on here and decide that they want to use the nest egg strategy, which is one way to create that comfortable retirement. And if you want to know more about that strategy, check out this video. The link's down in the description. Now, using My Wealth Plan, Brian and Kate can put in that they want to spend about $1,580 a week, and they're 50 years old now and want to retire at 65, and they expect to live until they're about 90 years old. Well, next, they need to look at what their current plan for retirement looks like. At that point, when they're 65, they will have the New Zealand pension, and they'll also have access to their KiwiSavers. So Brian's got $80K in his KiwiSaver today and earns roughly $80,000 a year. Kate, she's got $90K in her KiwiSaver and she earns about $100K a year. And let's say they're both doing the base level contributions, 3% each. On top of that, they have a Sharesies account that's currently got $20K in it, and they're putting in $100 a week. So let's see whether they're on track. Well, let me be frank with you. Brian and Kate, probably lovely people, but you can see here they are sleepwalking into retirement because by the time they retire, they want to be spending under $1,600 a week, but they're only on track for just over $1,000 per week. So Brian and Kate have a wealth gap, like most couples in New Zealand. Now, this concept of a wealth gap is one we coined in our book, Wealth Plan, which was released in late 2022. And in that book, you would see that a wealth gap is where you retire and you don't have enough money to live the lifestyle that you want. So bring it back to Brian and Kate. They're going to have to give up around a third of the lifestyle they want because they won't have enough money based on what they're doing right now. And that third, that's what's going to pay for the little luxuries, the dinners out, the holidays to see the grandkids, those kinds of things. In short, they will have paid off their own house by this point and they won't have a mortgage, but you can't use your house to pay your grocery bill. The money's locked in your house. So what's more, when we calculate Brian and Kate's wealth gap, they'll need about another $780,000 if they want to live that comfortable lifestyle we talked about. So what are their options? Well, they could either save about $1,000 a week, or they could do something else, grow their investments. And just before I tell you what that something else could be, if you want to run your numbers like Brian and Kate, then you can access this software for free. Go to mywealthplan.opuspartners.co.nz, or the link's just down in the description. So what could Brian and Kate do? Brian and Kate need to find a way to make another $520 a week in their retirement. And the way to do this is to grow their wealth. They need more assets. And there are lots of things you could invest in, but the one we focus here on this YouTube channel is investment property. So what could Brian and Kate invest in to create that wealth over the next 15 years? Well, they might start by buying a townhouse like this in Auckland for around 800k. Well, over the last 30 years in Auckland, properties have increased by 7.4% per year. Now, if we say that this property is only going to increase by 6% per year, in 15 years' time, if they sold it, it'd provide the equivalent of about $512 a week for Brian and Kate to spend. Well, that's going to get them significantly closer to closing that wealth gap, but they're not quite there yet. Well, next, they might buy this Christchurch townhouse for roughly 600k, but they're only going to invest in that in 2 years' time. Well, over the last 30 years again, properties outside of Auckland have increased in value by 6.5% per year. So if this property increases by, say, 5% a year, that's going to give them the equivalent equity of $238 a week. And together, that's going to give Brian and Kate about $1,800 a week to spend in their retirement, more than the $1,580 they were aiming for. And just before we recap how that income is all made up, if you want to know how property can do this, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We release new videos every Monday and Wednesday. So what's going to make up Brian and Kate's $1,800 income in retirement? Well, 712 of that comes from superannuation. Just under $300 from that comes from their KiwiSavers, $60 a week from their Sharesies, and $750 is going to come from those two properties. So property in this case provides more for Brian and Kate's retirement than the government pension does.